I just spent about 35 hours in New York. Took the JetBlue flight to overnight on Tuesday night and I got back here on Thursday night. No, I did not go for the Knicks parade, although I heard it was amazing. Our flights were full. I went to spend time at the Rebbe's resting place for the Rebbe's yartzait, 32 years since the Rebbe's passing on the 3rd of Tammuz. And I spent most of my time, about 24 hours, at the Rebbe's resting place with a 2-hour sleep, and just spend time listening to fellow Hasidim, Jews from all walks of life, share their connection to the Rebbe and their inspiration. Tens of thousands of people came to spend a few moments at the Rebbe's resting place. You get in a moment, you could write a note, you could say a few prayers, either requesting for the Rebbe to pray on your behalf or to share good news of what's happening in your life and asking for prayers for the whole world, for Am Yisrael. And I'd like to share a point that happened right there. So, as you know, we're preparing to open a preschool. Our daughter Sarah and her husband Levi are coming to Santa Fe to open a preschool for the school year, and we have to do renovations and clear out some of the storage to make more space. So we found in our storage a giant scissor that we used giant set of scissors that we used for our ribbon cutting when we had the grand opening 3 years ago of the Jewish Center. And we had received it from someone else who was doing a grand opening, and they passed it on to us, and with the intention that we would pass it on to someone else who may need it. So we have a little group of Chabad rabbis who chat about building ideas, how to go about different parts of the building. So I asked if anybody needs the scissors of having a grand opening. And I got a response, yes, we're having an opening in 3 weeks. Who is it from? From Rabbi Feldman in Reykjavik, Iceland. He was kidding, of course, like, how am I going to get it to Iceland? But I said, oops, I actually have somebody in our community who told me that he's going to Iceland in a few days. Dr. Lee Levin, retired doctor who loves hiking and camping, he's going to Reykjavik. So I met Dr. Levin. I said, you have to take the scissor to give them for the opening of the beautiful center that they're opening in Reykjavik. So indeed, the next day he took the scissors. This was last Tuesday. Wednesday he flew to Reykjavik. And as I am at the Rebbe's resting place with these thousands of people and connecting, I got a picture of Dr. Levin sitting at the table with his lovely Chabad family in their home as he delivered the scissors, and he was going to join a community event for the Rebbe's yartzait inspiration. And I took this picture, and as I'm walking outside, I give a look. I see Rabbi Feldman's father-in-law, Mrs. Feldman's father, Rabbi Namdar from Sweden, standing right there. And I said, Rabbi, I have a photo. Do you recognize who's sitting there? He says, that's my daughter. I said, exactly. And these are your kids. And I just sent them their scissors. So this is a connection from Santa Fe all the way to Iceland, Reykjavik, Iceland, where they're going to be opening a beautiful center. This is like the connection. This is the Rebbe's inspiration, how there's so many connections and Jewish connections, and the dots are all aligned. Another story I heard, which goes back for many, many years, in Israel, there was a woman who was writing to the Rebbe. She had some major issues that she had to discuss with the Rebbe from Israel. So she wrote a whole letter, and it was coming from her son, who she had to write about her son's issues. And her daughter, who was a young girl, about 10 years old, saw that they're writing to the Rebbe, so she said, I also want to write to the Rebbe. So your mother said, well, what are you going to write to the Rebbe? What do you have to write? She says, oh, I'm having a birthday, and I'm going to write to the Rebbe. He was actually younger, not 10-year-old, she was like 6 years old. Anyway, so she sits there and she writes the letter. She ties, like, just nothing important, so to speak. A letter to the Rebbe. Hi, my name is so-and-so, and I have a birthday coming up, and I want to write to you. So the mother took the letter from the daughter, And when it came time to sending the letters to New York, she felt uncomfortable sending a letter from a little girl, which didn't have much meat on it. It wasn't something important to write, so she felt she's going to keep that letter. And instead, she only sent her son's letter and her letter to the Rebbe. A few weeks later, she receives an envelope from New York. And the envelope said, it was addressed to the boy's name Baruch, the Chana, and the girl's name. And inside, she opened the letter. She found 2 letters from the Rebbe, one to the boy and one to the girl. The girl had not sent her letter. And she went back to her drawer where she kept the letter, and she saw the letter that she was going to send to the Rebbe was still there. She was blown away, not only by the vision, but the Rebbe cared. Somehow the Rebbe felt that the girl wanted a letter from him as well, and he sent her a letter without receiving a letter from her. The Rebbe cared for each one of us. The Rebbe cares for each one of us. That love transcends time and place, and we can all be part of this amazing energy, especially at a time of the Rebbe's yartzait. I would encourage you to come, spend some time with us tonight, Shabbat, tomorrow. I have many more stories to share. I was inspired beyond inspiration. An incredible 35 hours with Hasidim, with people from all walks of life, were touched by the Rebbe and inspired to share their stories. Please join us. Shabbat Shalom.